Okay, welcome to how to intentionally decorate your home. So I think a lot of us, we watch it's her birthday, yay. We watch HGTV. We see all of these beautiful homes. We see like the end of the Fixer Upper episode where everything is like clean and beautiful and it's got all these matching trinkets galore and flowers and things. I've got a shirt on underneath. All these things, and we think that that's how you have a beautiful home, and it's really overwhelming. I think, I guess this is our new normal, guys. Every day we go live, and I nurse Kaylee in front of you. So that's funny, Kaylee. I want to talk to you guys about how to declutter your home so that you can decorate it intentionally, because I'm sure that you know by now that you're in this group. That's what I'm going to tell you to do first. Okay, the first thing you have to do is declutter your stuff. And this is the analogy that I like to use. Okay, if you're going to paint something, which by the way, intentional decorations right behind me right there that I painted. If you're going to paint something that you want to be really, really beautiful, something that you want to be your masterpiece, you're not going to go out and get a canvas that's already painted on and then paint over it, right? Because that's hard to do. It distracts you. It messes up the vision that you have for it. You kind of have to work around it. It doesn't end up, you know what I'm saying? Like if I wanted to make that, when I made that, I didn't go get a used canvas that was already covered in stuff. I got a blank white one. And your house is the same. If you're trying to decorate it, if you're trying to, and I use the term decorate loosely, and I'll kind of talk about that in a minute, but if you're trying to intentionally make it look a certain way, it's pretty much impossible to do, hey Felicia, with all of the distractions around it, which is why you have to clear out the stuff around it first. So the goal and Felicia, if you're still watching, Felicia knows a lot about this. Felicia's the one that's like the master. She actually, that's her specialty, like interior design. So Felicia, chime in if I'm saying the wrong things, or if you're like, nope, this is all wrong, don't do what she says. But you want to communicate as much as you can with as little as possible. Okay, when you have so much going on, it's really overstimulating. And the feel of the home that you're trying to make, the feel of the space that you're trying to create gets lost because there's too much going on around it. So the very first step, like I said, especially as moms in our homes, is to clear out the clutter. Clear out the clutter, clear out the distractions so that you can actually see what it is that you're working with and create something in a white space. So I want to talk to you about what white space actually is. Okay, we're going to talk about it kind of in the terms of actual design and actual like decorating and actual creating a beautiful space. But I'm going to talk to you about what it does to you internally as well, because white space 100% affects your internal state of being as well. Gosh, she's so busy. So white space is a good thing because, hey, Christine, white space is good because first of all, it's less work for you. Okay, it's less work to look at. Hey, Emily, it requires less busyness. Okay, it's easy to look at. It's easy to maintain. Less work, less busyness. It's less overstimulating, and that is something that has a really real effect on our mental and emotional state of being. When we are surrounded by clutter and overstimulation and having to process all of these things around us all the time, all of the trinkets, all of the things on the walls, all of the decorations that we bought. What up, Kristen? Happy anniversary. All of the things that we bought and haven't put up on the walls yet, or bought and haven't staged right. Okay, that's really noisy for us. And the reason that you freak out, because this is what a lot of you guys have said, you freak out once you clear the clutter because there's white space. All of a sudden that stimulation is gone. All of a sudden all of your busyness is gone. All of a sudden all of that mental chatter caused by your things is gone. And this is what happens. And it happened to me, but all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, I have no distractions going on. I actually have to confront what's going on internally. So Don't tell me this after I painted my little's room. No, Lindsay, that is beautiful. And I'm going to talk about this too. When I say white space, I don't mean literal white space. I don't mean white walls. What I mean is the clutter around you that's distracting you. What I mean is feeling like you need to go out and buy trinkets and blanket ladders and end tables and all of these things to fill up a space because it's overstimulating and overwhelming. It's not, I don't mean literal white space. I mean, trying to fill in the voids. Okay, that's a good way of saying it. Trying to fill in the void. Okay, thank God. Trying to fill in the voids with things. Because when you clear your clutter and it's gone, and a lot of you guys have made posts about this, is like, I cleared out my clutter and now there's all this space and it makes me really uncomfortable. And this is why, guys, and this is exactly what happened when we moved to Florida. You have to confront the things that are going on inside you when all that clutter is gone. When your physical space is empty and all of a sudden you don't have a to-do list a million miles long, all you have to do, all you're left with are you and your thoughts, are you and your relationships with the people in your home. And I think that was most impactful for the relationship with my husband, our marriage, because all of a sudden it was like we would put the kids to bed and there was no to-do list, there was no chores, there was no, oh, I should probably go clean the bathroom because everybody's asleep now instead of hanging out with you. We had to confront those things going on inside of us because the outside stuff was gone. It was no longer there. It was no longer overwhelming us. It was no longer distracting us. It was no longer the reason we avoided all of the stuff going on below the surface. Does that make sense? Let me know if that's making sense to you guys, because I have seen a lot of you guys ask about this, like, oh my gosh, I'm so uncomfortable in white space. And I bet you that's why. I bet you that's why. When we moved to Florida, right after, that was one of the most, I've always been kind of like working past like childhood traumas and going to therapists and stuff, but it was the easiest and it was the fastest time of healing for myself when we moved to Florida and my cluttered home was gone. The clutter was gone. I was able to heal so quickly. I was able to recognize what the problems actually were and confront them and deal with them. Shammer says, yes, this is my goal, but good to be prepared for this. Yeah. And it's kind of shocking. And I think that people just don't realize it. They think that the problem is that they need to have stuff. They're like, oh man, I cleared out this space. It feels really good. And I think the solution is to fill it back up with stuff. No, the solution is to get inside of yourself and figure out, why am I uncomfortable with this? Why am I uncomfortable with not being distracted? Why am I uncomfortable because all of a sudden I'm not able to just check out at the end of the day or numb out? Emily says, we decluttered round 1 in May, moved in June, and we still have blank walls. My son's birthday party is less than 30 days, and I want to decorate finally, but I have no idea what I want. Okay, so that moves right in. Kaylee stole my notes. That moves right into what we're going to talk about now. How to actually decorate intentionally, because that was one of the things that I struggled with too. It was like, man, like this house is empty. It's kind of embarrassing to have people over because it's so empty. And they probably think that so this is tip number 1, because Kaylee took my notes. I don't remember what I was going to say. Tip number 1 is stop letting other people's houses and opinions of your house get inside your head. So, we watch HGTV, we go to the Target and go down all the aisles and see all these beautiful staged aisles that are not real homes. We go to Home Goods and see all these staged places and homes and areas of your house that aren't real homes. They're an aisle in a store designed to target and market to people like you so that they can sell that stuff. Okay, get it out of your head. Yes, I know I want it decorated. Don't fill it with anything fill it with anything if you don't know what you want. Yes, wait until you know. So that's what I was going to say first. So first declutter the things, then declutter everyone else's opinion. Declutter all the HGTV episodes. Get it out of your head and be patient and be okay with like figuring out what your actual style is. So got my notes back. The way that you can actually do this is to use things like Pinterest, okay, to get inspiration for things that you like. Use things like taking pictures at Hobby Lobby, taking pictures at Home Goods, taking pictures at wherever it is that you like to shop, taking pictures of those things and then bringing it back home and looking at it and see how it actually fits into your space. Think about how you would actually use it. I think a lot of times the reasons that we get so overwhelmed with decorating is because there's 1,000,001 ways to do it. And there's 1,000,001 companies trying to sell you things and ideas and trinkets and the solution to your decorating problems. So use those things, take the pictures, look at your space, figure out, first of all, what is functional. Okay. So some basic, sorry, I'm so scattered, guys. Like, she really needs to be napping. And I know she's like on the verge of just freaking out. And she messed up all my notes, so now they're all mixed up. But use Pinterest and those kinds of things for inspiration. Okay, figure out what you actually like. And what I do is like I get on Pinterest and I make a board and I pin everything that calls to me. And then I leave that board alone for a day or two, or maybe a week if I forget. And then I go back and I look at it all again and I'm like, okay, I actually hate half of this. I didn't actually like it. It was just what popped up on my feed and I thought I liked it. And then I'll delete all those things. And eventually, you know, I'll do it again. I'll kind of filter through it and I'll find what my actual style is. So I actually did this not too long ago and I would go get it for you, but I'm not leaving Kaylee alone because like I said, she's like this close to just freaking out. But my friend got me some beach sand. She sent me some beach sand and I really wanted to use it for like a flower arrangement. And I wanted it in a vase and I knew kind of what I wanted. And I could have just gone on Amazon and been like, find the first one that was at a decent price that I kind of liked how it looked, picked some flowers that were like, okay, and put it in there. But I knew I wasn't going to like it. And I've done this enough to know that I need to figure out what I actually want. So I knew in my mind exactly what I wanted the vase to look like. And I would go to Hobby Lobby. I've gone a couple times. I've looked on Amazon and I never found the one that I actually wanted. And I knew it existed. I just hadn't found it yet. So I waited until I found it, and I found it at Hobby Lobby yesterday. And then I went and picked out the flowers that I wanted to put in there, and now it's sitting in my bathroom on my counter, which is crazy, guys. If you know me, it's crazy that I have stuff on my bathroom counter, but it's beautiful, and I love it, and it's exactly what I want, and it's exactly what I envisioned, because I spent a lot of time thinking about what I wanted, going out and finding the exact thing that I wanted, not settling for something less, not settling for something that was on sale or something that was like kind of close, but not exactly what I wanted, but it would do, right? I didn't do that. I was like, I'm not settling for anything until I find exactly what I want. And then I know it feels good. So go through and find like the things that inspire you, that you like, that you think you like, give it some time, revisit it, because you'll probably come back to it and realize, oh, I don't actually like that. And then don't settle. Like, don't just get things because they're on sale. Don't just get things because they're trendy. Don't just get things because you saw it on HGTV. I talk about the golden pineapple a lot. Why is Target always selling golden pineapples and Home Goods and golden pineapples? Like, it's a really cute, cool thing. Everybody's selling them, and I don't know why. They're probably selling them because everybody keeps buying them. I don't know why. Golden pineapples don't do anything for me, but it's trendy. And every time I see it, I want to buy it, or I think I want to buy it, but I don't, because I'm like, I'm going to bring that home and do what with it? Kristen says, it's kind of like getting a tattoo. I really want a tattoo, but I have no idea what to get. Take time to really learn or figure out what it is. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like getting a tattoo. That's exactly right. You got to take the time to actually figure out what it is that you want. So use the Pinterest, use it for inspiration. Now, some other things that you can do, because I am of the belief that you really don't need a lot of decor. Okay, you really don't need all of those things in the Target, from Target or from Home Goods, or all whatever it is that people sell. Okay, I don't think you need a whole lot to make a place look nice. So like Kaylee's room that we're in right now is my favorite room ever. She's got the crib. She's got that thing up on the wall, which is actually from my friend. She's got her little teepee. She's got the painting on the wall. And then she's got her chair over there. Like, that's it. Oh, and she's got the toy shelf. So that's it. I love the way her room looks. I love the way her room feels. I love the functionality of it. I asked my friend, Kristen, if that's true. She said it's not true. because she is one. Anyway, sounds like finding a husband. Don't settle. Yeah, don't settle. And just know that you don't need all these extra things to make it look pretty. You don't need vases of flowers to make it look pretty. Yes, you can have those. Like I said, I have some, but I waited until I was like, this is exactly what I want. And this is going to be something that I actually like looking at. And this is something that's going to make me happy and make my house feel good. But like Kaylee's room doesn't have a whole lot of decorations, but I personally think it's pretty cute. Maybe interior decorators will disagree, but that's okay. That's not the point. I don't care what interior decorators say. I know that Kaylee can play in here happily and fine, and it's cute and cozy, and it works for us, and it's functional. So think about the functionality of the things that you're buying. So another example of this is our bed that we have in my husband's room. Like, we knew coming into this house, we wanted it to look nice, but we wanted to do it with as little work as possible. So we got a really nice looking headboard for our bed. And it was actually really cheap. It's like $300 on Amazon. It's gray. It's like a dark gray. It's cute. It's functional. It does the job. It makes our room look put together, and we don't have to do any work for it. Okay. It's functional. Think about the functionality and start with those bigger pieces first. So like a couch, like in our living room, the couch does most of the work. Okay. It sets the stage of the space. It makes it look cozy and inviting. It looks nice with the color scheme. It does the work of decorating for us. So think about functionality, and then work with, so I'm going to use the word architecture because I don't really know what else to call it, but work with like the architecture of your home. So if you rent, this probably isn't something that really is something that you can do, but like for this house, we loved it because those details within the architecture were done for us. Like the trim around the doors, like makes this house look decorated and put together without us having to do a whole bunch of work. Like, it's done for us. It looks nice. It looks complete. It looks finished. So I think the purpose of decorating is to make a place look finished and complete. And those little things that you can do if you own your home, I would personally invest in doing those small touches, or like finishing touches, versus going out and buying a shelf to put trinkets on. Does that make sense? Like trims around the window, trims around the doors, painting doors. Sometimes just like painting doors makes a really big difference. Like if it's like the really older style wood doors, you can paint it white, and all of a sudden it looks completely redone and amazing. So if you own, focus on those types of things versus adding stuff in and bringing more stuff in, trying to decorate it. So another way you can work with the architecture rule is like painting walls. If you guys have seen pictures of our downstairs living room, it's got a blue wall, and that blue wall is beautiful, and I don't ever want to hang anything on it because it brings the room together. It matches the carpet, it matches the couch, it matches the trim, it matches our kitchen cabinets and the kitchen countertops, and it accents it really well to where that painted wall does the work for us. Okay, so I think hopefully you're catching the theme here. Work smarter, not harder. Make these bigger things, like the bigger elements of your home, do most of the work for you. And then you can add in the finer details like paintings and whatever else. So that's really what I mean by white space. I don't mean white walls. I'm not saying you have to have white walls, but you don't need to go and buy things. You don't need to go and buy decorations or shelves or things to put into your home to make it feel complete. You can use things like painting the walls, like Lindsay. Painting the walls in your daughter's room is amazing, and it feels complete, right? It feels like a space that you guys want to be in, and you don't have to manage a whole bunch of trinkets or gadgets or bookshelves or anything like that. Okay. Make your home work for you, basically. Make your home work for you. Which makes sense. I mean, you have to pay for it, right? It's like paying rent, and your mortgage is like paying your house to work for you every month. Okay. The last tip that I want to let you guys know is to use nature. Use nature. So I know you guys are probably like, you're contradicting yourself, crazy lady. When I was like, you don't have to have a vase of flowers to make your house feel complete. Hey, Katie, come But elements of nature make a house feel really cozy and inviting to me personally, I think. So if you have houseplants, like if you guys know Gianna Sensenig, everybody loves the way that her house looks, and they're always like, teach you how to decorate. And if you look at the elements of her home, what she did was get things like wood beams on the ceiling and around the doors, and used pops of paint color on the wall, and used houseplants, and picked out very strong pieces of furniture that do the hard work for her. Love that wording. So if you look at her home, it's beautiful. It's put together nicely. It flows, but there's not a lot in it. And that's kind of the point, is that you don't need a lot. You just have to know how to use these elements of your home to work for you. And if you want to know who I'm talking about, you can go to Instagram and follow Gianna Sensenig, and get some inspiration from her house, because her house is, like I said, everybody is like goals. And when you look at it, you're like, wow, she has no shelves. She has no, well, it's not that she doesn't have any shelves, but you know, she's not going to Home Goods every week and like mastering gallery walls, or mastering hutches, or mastering making it look like the end of a Fixer Upper episode, right? She doesn't have all that extra stuff. Come here. So I want plants, but my cat eats them. Yeah, I want plants too, but my dog eats them, and Kaylee does too. So I'm thinking, if I ever get around to it, I'll do hanging plants. I'll do hanging plants. But okay, so anybody have any other questions? Put them in the comments below, because this grumpy birthday baby needs a nap. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.